Yo, what's up people? So this is the Comica CVM VM20 Shotgun microphone, and if it looks familiar, well, that's because it's taking its design cues from some of the more popular microphones out there. So today we're going to run through all the features of this microphone, the sound quality of course, and then we're going to determine whether or not it is worth it at this price point. Let's get into it. So if you're a video content creator, you may have heard this many times, that sound quality is just as important as your video quality, if not more important. So one of the best investments that you can make in your video and content creator career is in a good microphone. Now there are tons of brands out there, like the popular ones like Rode and Deity, but you may be looking to save a few dollars. Now there are way too many budget microphone companies out there, and the vast majority of them is not worth mentioning. But Comica has created a great value/budget option here for you, taking its design cues from the Deity D3 Pro and the Rode NTG video mic. So let's run through the features here that makes this thing an awesome unit. So first things first is an internal lithium battery. While I don't have an advertised runtime, I have seen other creators get up to 74 hours of constant recording on this thing. In my experience, I've only had to charge it about once or twice a week, depending on how much I'm using it there. The one problem that it does have is that there is no standard auto on and off feature, so you do have to remember to turn the unit off or the battery does drain. But it does charge via USB-C, which I'm always glad to see when companies have made the switch over to USB-C, as that is the standard for most things now going forward, and a bunch of different things that you already have a plug that you could use to charge it. There's a nice sturdy shock mount that comes with the unit, so when you're walking around with it, it's not flopping around. I tend to hate floppy shock mounts because it kind of defeats the purpose, but they did a good job of including a nice dual shock mount to hold it here, since it's a little bit larger unit than your compact microphones. And then one of the best things on this style of microphone is the stepless gain knob, which allows you to dial in your audio level to exactly how you need to get it. And because there's a gain knob on the microphone, you don't have to crank the gain on the camera or whatever device you're plugging it into, which can help decrease the noise depending on how good or how bad your preamps are on your given device there. So that's definitely one of the best things on this microphone, which it took from some of the other microphones in this category. Also on the microphone, you're going to find a 75 and 150 hertz filter there. This is awesome. Again, I always like when these things are on the microphone itself, so you don't have to do it in post, but that will help to cut out any low rumbling noises there, AC noises, fan noises, anything like that. It could help to cut it off, and you have two different levels there depending on your environment, so that's good as well. They include your standard foam screen there, which is good to cut down on wind noise, but also to cut down on those pops and plosives if you're using it indoors as well. And then they've also included a dead cat. The dead cat is a little bit weird in that when it's slided over the microphone, it kind of covers up a little bit too much, and then it has this drawstring and you're able to keep it tight there. Not completely weird in terms of in comparison to some of the other units, but I would have preferred something that was a little bit more tighter fitting there. And then all of that comes in this nice Comica case here. Everything is nice and tidy, and they're also included the two different type of cables that you need. So you have your regular TRS cable, and then if you are going to use this in a smartphone, you have the TRRS cable. So then it automatically does the conversion for you, and you could use it in a smartphone. So features and all that are really great, but the main thing you want to know is, what does this microphone sound like? Well, all the audio that you've heard in this video thus far has been from the Comica CVM VM20. I'm just going to call it the VM20 from now on, but I've used it in a couple of videos thus far, and I've been really impressed of the way that it's handled the sound in this room, because this is not where I really should be filming my videos. I've just kind of got stuck here in the pandemic. I used to film outside in the room, but now that the wife is here. Anyway, long story short, this room is very, very, very echoey, and this microphone still tends to handle the room pretty well with the way it rejects background noise and the echo in this room. It actually comes out kind of okay, and I'm not getting that much phase issues that you typically run into with a lot of other shotgun microphones. So right now I actually have it boomed as close as I could get it without it being in the frame. It's actually about right here where my finger is, so maybe about a foot away. So that is the setup on how you're hearing it. What I will do here right now to do an audio test is I will cut the music out, and then I will give you what the raw audio sounds like and just normalize it for levels, and then I'll give you what it would sound like when I'd mix it with EQ and some compression there. So this is the raw audio, and I'll just go ahead and say this is the Comica VM20 inside our not treated kind of echoey room. And then for EQ, this is the Comica VM20 in our not treated kind of echoey room. All right, and then let's step outside and we could see what this thing sounds like outside. I'll just go to a place that's close by the house where I normally test microphones, and you can kind of see what it sounds like in an outside environment. It's not too windy today. It is really hot, but it's moderately windy, and I'll go somewhere where there's a little bit of background noise, but you could get a sense of what it sounds like outdoors if you're gonna be vlogging. All right, so this is a nice just walking, talking, vlogging test. And this is also a good test here. As I turn to talk, you could see if you could still hear me, which you probably can't hear me so well because the microphone is so directional there. But if I turn it back, you could hear me there. Let's come over here to this area so I can see what it sounds like with the waterfall in the background there. And this is where I normally come just to test to see like what the microphone sound like in an outdoor area. It's not too windy outside here right now, but there is that waterfall that I just showed you right there. That is behind there, so you can kind of hear it's probably doing a good job rejecting the microphone there. Not too many people walking and talking behind me. Most people are just out here jogging, minding their own business or whatever. Usually there's planes and stuff in the background, but there's still a decent amount of background noise here, and you can hear that it's still doing a good job just picking up my voice as it is that we're talking. So what we'll do here, we'll just jump back inside, finish up talking about the sound quality of the microphone and some other cons and stuff like that there. All right, so back inside, that was the outdoor test. The one last thing I do want to talk about in terms of sound quality is this off-axis rejection. That just kind of means like how the microphone rejects sound if it's not directly pointed at you. So right now I have it again right here, pointed down to my face. As you heard in the background noise test, it actually did a really good job of rejecting the waterfall that was behind the camera when it was that I was vlogging outside, but it's almost sometimes too good. In my previous videos, sometimes I'd set it up and I'd have it pointed directly at my mouth, and if I step forward here like this, or if I lean forward, probably wasn't that dramatic, but the sound would change pretty dramatic if I come off axis here, or if I come off axis over here. You could hear it changing as it goes there. So what I've ended up having to do with this mic, because it does reject the off axis sound so much, is I make sure to kind of point it somewhere in the range of my mouth and my chest there. That way I could still get a good pickup into the microphone. So now you know the feature set. You also know what it sounds like just from listening to what I've done here in my test here. Let's talk about just some of the cons or some of the features that are missing on this unit in comparison to what is taking its design cues from, like the Deity D3 Pro and the Rode NTG Video Mic Pro. If we're talking about these features, let's just talk mainly about the Rode NTG Video Mic there, because it has the most features in terms of this style of microphone here. So the Comica VM20 does not have the moving shock mount, which you have on some of the other microphones there, so you can adjust how far or how close the microphone is when it's on the camera. The big one is there's no auto on and off or standby, so you have to remember to either turn on or turn off the microphone there, which inevitably at some point you're gonna have to do a retake when you're out vlogging, running and gunning, because you may forget to turn on the microphone there or have to charge it a little bit more often. So that's a big missing feature there. There's no high frequency boost feature, so when you're using the dead cat, you could boost the high frequencies because you might kind of lose some of that when you're outside. There's also no pad, so if you're recording in a really loud area like a concert or something, there's no built-in pad for you there. No clipping light, that's not really important to me, but I thought I would mention it. And then the Rode NTG you could also use as a USB mic and plug it straight into the computer, and while this has USB-C, you're not able to do that with the Comica VM20 there. Other little minor cons that I mentioned there before, the dead cat was a little bit weird. I hope that fit a little bit better. And then depending on what you're using this for, if you're using this for vlogging and you have a smaller setup, the size of this may be a little bit bigger than you need. If you're using a phone or a smaller mirrorless camera, you may prefer a more compact unit like the Rode Video Micro or the Movo microphones or smaller microphones that I've done reviews here as well, but that again is a minor con. So even though it's missing all those features, some of that stuff had to be cut out there in order to make the price point what it is. So what is my overall conclusion and impressions of the Comica VM20? I think it's a great value, coming in at half the cost of the Rode NTG video mic there. Obviously it's not the top of the line because it doesn't have all the different features. I've never used that microphone, so I don't know how much better the quality in sound is. But what I can say for the Comica is that you're getting a nice sound there. So for your run and gun video creator, if you're vlogging, if you're creating talking head stuff like this, even if you're doing interviews, you could boom it in like I have done here and still get a nice sound out of the microphone. I think at $130 with all the other features that it has there, the stepless gain knob, the high pass frequency filters there, as well as the quality shock mount and overall build quality. I think you can't go wrong if you're looking for a budget option to the Deity D3 Pro, or if you don't need all the features from the Rode NTG video mic there. Anyway, thanks for watching. If this video helped you out in any way, shape or form, please go ahead and drop it a like, hit the subscribe button and the notification button, and depending on when you're watching, click this link right here. I'm about to do a comparison on all the different options of compact microphones, which you may be looking at if you're looking at the price point of the Comica VM20. So that might be of interest to you as well before you make your final purchase decision. If you do decide to purchase any of these microphones, links down below. That does help give a small kickback here to us on the channel and help us to create content like this here on the platform. I appreciate it, and it's no extra cost to you. But big up yourself. I will catch you in the next video. Peace.